A young Jewish elementary student who was a victim of a horrible hate crime. This little boy, he came home from school with a swastika carved into his back. Can you imagine?
This is Bishop Robert Stearns. I'm here on Mount Zion in Jerusalem. The Mount of Olives is just behind me. And Solidarity Sunday 2025 was an incredible coming together of Jews and Christians standing in solidarity together, declaring never again. I want to invite you to join me as you hear the speeches, the testimony, the witness firsthand of Jewish leaders who are standing strong and proud in the midst of attack, in the midst of this rising anti-Semitism. They are raising their voices, and we are forming a wall of protection around them. Join me as you hear their amazing stories.
And you know, when you think about Solidarity Sunday, it is an opportunity for Christians to join the Jewish community in remembering the past atrocities, all of the anti-Semitism, while also us making a fresh commitment to stand against those atrocities in today's world. We bear a unique responsibility to stand against anti-Semitism, amen? Scripture calls the followers of Jesus to embrace the Jewish community in a unique, in a warm, and in a loving way, in friendship together as one. In just a moment, you're about to become a witness, not just to the anti-Semitism of a bygone century, but of its reality among us right here, right now. I say today we stand as a church together saying we will not be silent for those who face hatred today. And so today at Canvas Community Church, it is my honor to introduce to you Miss Larkin Brown from the Lawfare Project, who is about to share some experiences herself. She's been brought here today through the partnership of Eagle's Wings, Bishop Robert Stearns, Moral Hearts. Would you guys please make welcome, for her first time in the state of Tennessee, Miss Larkin Brown.
It is such an honor to be here with all of you today. I first want to thank Pastor JT and Jennifer and Shannon and everybody who's just been so warm and welcoming to me. It's really incredible. As JT mentioned, this is my first time in Tennessee, and it just feels so alive. I think that it's so vibrant here. It's just wonderful. So thank you. Thank you all. When I think about how I came to this work at the Lawfare Project, which I should mention it's an organization that's dedicated to fighting Jew hatred and securing justice for the Jewish people through strategic litigation and advocacy. So without the jargony words, it helps people get legal aid, pro bono legal aid, so that they don't have to worry about all those issues. They just get the help they need when they're wronged. So when I think about how I came to this work, I think of my grandmother. My grandmother was a Jew, but she never talked about it. She had 7 children, and half of her children did not know about their heritage until after she passed away. She was guarded, afraid, and felt the need to hide herself. Since October 7th, 2023, I have felt my grandmother's fear more acutely. Jew hatred and violence against Jewish people have skyrocketed around the world. Here in the US, anti-Semitic incidents have increased by 200%. On college campuses alone, there has been a staggering 500% spike in incidents targeting Jewish students. And today, over 36% of Jewish students on campuses now feel unsafe and uncomfortable simply because of who they are. October 7th was a day of unimaginable horror. On that day, Hamas terrorists attacked Israel in a coordinated assault, murdering over 1,400 innocent people. injuring thousands more and taking 200 hostages, including children and people of all ages. This atrocity shook the Jewish community to its core and reignited global awareness of the dangers of unchecked Jew hatred. It reminded us that vigilance and action are essential to safeguarding our communities. The shockwaves of that day are still felt deeply, and they have reignited our collective resolve to fight for justice and safety for all. I hear the fear in the voices of those who call us for help, the anguish in their stories of harassment and violence, and I think of my grandmother, who felt that she had to hide her Jewish identity to survive. And I feel an even deeper resolve. But unlike her, I refuse to hide. This pain, this anger, this unshakable belief in justice drive my commitment to ensure that no one should ever have to live in fear just because of who they are. And as our shared literature tells us, Psalm 82, defend the weak and the fatherless, uphold the cause of the poor and the oppressed, rescue the weak and the needy, deliver them from the hand of wicked. These words are a charge to each of us to act in the face of injustice. The Lawfare Project is a civil rights organization that uses the legal system to protect Jewish communities and individuals from discrimination, harassment, and violence. I'd like to tell you about one case that really resonates with me. This is of a young Jewish elementary student who was a victim of a horrible hate crime. This little boy, he came home from school with a swastika carved into his back. Can you imagine? Your little boy jumps off the school bus, he runs home, and this is what happened at his school day. And what makes it even more disturbing is this little boy was autistic and nonverbal. So he wasn't even able to tell his mother what happened. I think of her pain and the disappointment and devastation that her child could be violated in such a disgusting way in 2023. He was isolated then by the school. The school continued to investigate the incident, and rather than continuing to educate the boy, the school decided to have him stay at home with no resources to continue his education for months. Working with local attorneys, the Lawfare Project reached a settlement that secured compensation and ensured that the student's education was able to continue in a safe environment. So while this victory, if you can call it that, cannot undo the trauma, it shows that justice is possible. And justice requires action. Proverbs 31, speak up for those who cannot speak for themselves, for the rights of all who are destitute. Speak up and judge fairly. Defend the rights of the poor and needy. This call to action is the heart of what we do. And our fight is not just legal, it's cultural. So the Lawfare Project also supports the End Jew Hatred movement, which is a revolutionary grassroots civil rights initiative. This movement is dedicated to ending Jew hatred in our lifetime by empowering Jewish communities to demand justice, impose consequences on Jew haters, and reclaim the narrative of Jewish resilience. And you'll notice that I don't use the word anti-Semitism here because it's Jew hatred. It is not anti-Semitism. It is the hate of the Jewish people. And that is something that those words together, Jew hate, that's something we need to wrap our heads around because there's no way to explain that. It's just hate. It's hate for a group of people. So in this group, I get to talk to the activists, and I don't hear fear in their voices. Their voices are angry. They're passionate, and they're sick and tired of being beaten down, they will not stand by and watch our people burn. The movement takes action across the country. They've got rallies and protests, educational panels, and interfaith initiatives, which is really just awesome. We're working on something with End Jew Hatred to start something called End Jew Hatred Day. And this is an initiative that is asking for schools, communities, government to declare April 29th as End Jew Hatred Day. This is different from Holocaust Remembrance Day because it's a day of pride, unity, and solidarity with the Jewish community. This is still something that's happening. This is an active movement. So we've put together a letter to write to Mayor Joey Hobbs right here in Manchester to urge him to proclaim April 29th as End Jew Hatred Day. So far, we've had 61 elected officials across 10 states declare April 29th as End Jew Hatred Day. And together, I think it's pretty important that we make this a reality in Tennessee. The rise in hate and Jew hatred is also happening here. Just this past year, up in Nashville, there was a disturbing surge in neo-Nazi activity, with hate groups marching through the streets, waving swastika flags and spreading Jew hate propaganda. These groups have accosted tourists and locals alike, disrupting the sense of safety and unity the city is known for. But so far, in my 36 hours that I've been in Tennessee, this is not the Tennessee that I've experienced. I've been warmed welcomely, and I don't think that this is a state that should be defined by hate. From my experience, Tennessee is a place of light. The people who I've met are resilient and warm and true of Tennessee, because this summer there was also hundreds of people who came together after some of these incidents for a unity rally. And there were voices of leaders who stood up and said, "There is no room for hate here." So I ask this congregation to embrace that there is no room for hate here either. Thank you. This fight is not just about the Jewish community. It's about standing against hate in all its forms. It is about ensuring that no one feels the need to hide who they are. It is about building a world where love and justice triumph over fear and bigotry. As Leviticus 19:18 says, and this one also has a couple different names. You might know it as the Golden Rule. You might I was talking to Pastor JT earlier. I wasn't sure if you guys were a King James Bible group, so you can throw the thous in if you'd like. You could say, "Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself." You could say, "Love your neighbor as yourself." Or you could say, "Treat everyone the way you want to be treated." So today, I invite you to join in this fight. Your signature is not just ink on paper. It is a declaration that hate has no place here in Tennessee or anywhere in the world. So let's stand together as allies, as advocates, and as people of faith who believe in a better world. Thank you. Thank you for welcoming me today. Really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you.
These stories, these testimonies are overwhelming. It's amazing to hear the strength, the perseverance, the resilience of the Jewish people. I want to invite you to join me and come alongside our covenantal older brother in faith, the Jewish community. You can do that by going to eagleswings.org and becoming a partner today. You can plant a tree in Israel in our forest of life, an amazing, amazing forest that literally the desert is blossoming as the rose. You can feed hungry Israelis Israeli families through our Abraham's Bread feeding program. There's so many different ways for you to be involved, but let me hear from you today. Make your best gift today and ask your church to be involved in next year's Solidarity Sunday. All of the information is there in the link. We are believing that hundreds and hundreds of churches are going to join together every year and understand that never again is now, and we have to be a part of that solution. I look forward for your prayers, your giving, your partnership, making a difference in this generation. Solidarity Sunday, be a part of it.